right, good afternoon. Thanks for coming here to the press conference this afternoon. We wanted to give some information on the homicide, the double homicide that occurred here in Waterbury at LA 42 nightclub back on July 5th of this year. At 12:37 a.m. on July 5th, Waterbury police were notified of an incident of shots fired at 675 East Main Street, which is the LA 42 nightclub. Arriving officers located two victims, both sustained gunshot wounds. They were both outside of the club. The victims were identified as Trayvon Dunbar, age 22 from Waterbury, and Zanaya Dawkins, age 18 from Waterbury. Both victims were transported to the hospital. They were later pronounced dead due to the injuries from the gunshot wounds. Detectives from the Waterbury Major Crimes Unit and other investigative divisions in the Waterbury State's Attorney's Office began to work the case. They identified two juvenile suspects who were responsible for the shooting. The first was DeAndre Weaver, 17 years old, of West Hartford, Connecticut. The second was Dorian Glenn, 17 years old, of New Britain, Connecticut. On July 10th, at 2026, a multi-agency operation was organized in order to execute search warrants and arrest warrants for both Weaver and Glenn. During the operation, both suspects were taken into custody without incident, both in New Britain, one at 185 Fairview Avenue and one at 80 Connecticut Avenue. Several handguns along with other items of evidence were recovered at that point in time. We've conducted some analysis, forensic analysis on these weapons. We've done some NIBIN work with these weapons, and we do have a connection between these two weapons and shell casings that were found at the scene of the homicide here in Waterbury. Both were arraigned in adult court today. They're both held on $3 million bond. DeAndre Weaver is charged with 2 counts of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, unlawful discharge of a firearm, reckless endangerment in the first degree, illegal sale, delivery or transfer of a revolver, weapons in a motor vehicle, and carrying a pistol or revolver without a permit. We have limited information on the prior history of both of these juveniles. Dorian Glenn is facing the same charges. Again, they're both held on a $3 million bond, awaiting further court appearance. Any questions?
So can you just explain the shooting itself? I know you found the victims outside of the club, but where did the actual shooting take place?
The shooting took place outside of the club, in front of it, on the public way.
We heard this morning when we arraigned the two suspects that some of the circumstances of the shooting involved them both being on camera, pulling up to the nightclub, entering the nightclub, exiting the nightclub, then firing their guns into a crowd of people. Is that accurate?
Yeah, there was an excellent amount of digital evidence that was collected by our major crimes team and our forensics division. And this case was made on a lot of forensic analysis and digital information analysis.
Were the suspects and victims known to each other?
To our knowledge, there was no connection between them.
Was there someone they were going after? Was there targeting? No.
There was an altercation that broke out inside the club. We're still working on the details of what occurred inside the club that prompted them to go outside the club, get weapons, and start firing.
So you mentioned that during the arraignment, one of them dropped his cell phone.
There was a cell phone that was recovered at the scene.
Are there any mental health concerns with the two suspects? Or is that playing any role in how you're proceeding with this investigation? What comes
It's a broad question. No behavioral health concerns that have been identified at this point. It's not really reflecting the direction that we're going with the investigation.
Talk a little about like the digital forensics. How complex was the investigation? What kind of happened over the course of those days, to find the suspects?
So all serious investigations this day and age are very complex with the amount of information that is available through digital analysis. We have a very robust forensic computer crimes division here. City of Waterbury, we have strong connections with both the state and the FBI, computer crime investigative divisions as well, and we use them in those relationships quite frequently in these investigations.
I know you summed it up a little bit. Can you kind of walk us through again how you think the shooting unfolded?
There was some sort of altercation that broke out inside the club. The circumstances surrounding that altercation are still open, and we're still trying to understand them. At some point, the suspects and several people exited the club. The suspects retrieved weapons and fired upon the crowd.
How many people generally were outside of the club at the time?
There was a reasonable amount of people. I don't have that number exactly, but it was a larger crowd.
What role did each of the juvenile play? Did both fire the gun? Who fired?
There were 2 guns that were fired, right? Both were armed.
Is this like a drive-by shooting, or the car moving?
Not really. They were in a car, but the car,
Oh, they weren't.
well, one had opened the door of the car. They were in a car, but the car wasn't driving by and just rapidly firing.
I understand LA 42 nightclub has recently closed. They've voluntarily pulled their own liquor license. Are you incorporating any of the nightclub's ownership in the criminal investigation?
Yeah, well, absolutely. We'll look into, everybody. We've been talking to everybody involved with the club as part of the criminal investigation. We did work closely with the State Liquor Commission that weekend. They reached out offering assistance and had some conversations in earnest with the club permittee holder who voluntarily surrendered the permit.
Can you talk about the nightclub, the surrounding area? Is this a place of focus for you guys?
It is. We've had some issues in the East Main Street corridor. Recently, there's been a proactive patrol. There's been some community enforcement and community outreach initiatives that we've conducted in that particular neighborhood. This is not the first time we've seen violence at this club. Club's owner, Janet Alvarez, was murdered at the club back in 2020. So it has been something that's been on our radar, and we are pleased now that the club will be closed for a while and we can kind of stabilize that neighborhood and try to have a better understanding of what more services we can provide in that particular area of the city to make it a much safer place.
With both these suspects being minors, are you worried about how they're able to get inside the club?
Absolutely. That's something that they were talking about. There's been some reasons why offered by club management why they were there that night. We're investigating that and looking into that with the Liquor Commission to see if there's further action that should be taken.
Is that a part of the reason why they surrendered their license, you think?
Very well could be. We'll find out.
And also that these 2 suspects are minors, and in most circumstances, minors, if you, the suspects don't get named. Is there a different reason why their name is here?
The cases have been transferred to adult court. When cases are transferred to adult court, we are able to provide the information on who those parties are. I think it's important for the public to know who they are for a variety of reasons. One, it could help our investigation. 2, it's just important to understand some of the cycles that are occurring in the juvenile community throughout the state. We talk about this quite often. Although we don't have a lot of information on previous history with these 2 particular juveniles, we'll continue to look into that, and that may play out in court in this case. I'm not sure yet. But we have a significant gun violence problem in the younger community here in the state of Connecticut that we really need to focus on and pay attention to and come up with some better solutions.
Were they both arrested in New Britain on Friday, or was one arrested in West Hartford and one?
They were both arrested in New Britain.
Were they together?
No. I think we provided the addresses and where they were located in New Britain. We'll get this package out to you.
Chief, so obviously we understand that this was not any sort of targeted situation, that these were people who do not seem to have been known to each other. these two victims in particular, young people who are at a nightclub trying to blow off steam. This was a way for them to, enjoy a weekend and do anything that anybody would go to a nightclub for. And this ended in tragedy, in violence and death. Anything you could just speak to the gravity of the situation of this. These were people who were there to, enjoy themselves, and this is how their night ended.
Right. Well, our hearts go out to the victim's family. I mean, they're both very young members of our community here. There've been a couple of gatherings to memorialize the lives that they lived, and you bring up great points. I don't know if I could say much more than what you said. I mean, they're out trying to enjoy their time, and something as catastrophic as this occurs. It's a really difficult situation for the families. It's a difficult situation for the community as a whole to process and to grieve through. In circumstances like this, we have to learn how to accept them. And in our particular case here at the police department and the city's administration, we have to figure ways to get ahead of them to make sure that they don't occur. That's why we talk a lot with our state legislators about, gun violence and strengthening statutes to make sure that people who shouldn't have guns don't have guns. We conduct gun violence problem analysis. Currently, we're going through one with the Boston Consulting Group here in the city, where we're looking at juvenile gun violence here in the city. I know that Hartford and New Haven have done the same recently, and we compare those details and information to see how we can better serve the communities and better serve the kids in that particular age group to steer them away from this type of activity. Anything else? Thank you.
Any more arrests expected?
At this time, no, but it's an open and active investigation, and there may very well be.
One last thing, as far as like the evidence, I know we saw that those guns were up there, and then before you mentioned something about like a phone that was dropped at the scene. Is there any other items, I know that was mentioned in the press release, like evidence?
Absolutely. I mean, there were shell casings that were collected. There was a number of items of evidence that were collected from the scene and processed, and from the locations where search and arrest warrants were served. There was evidence collected as well and processed, and it will be used in the adjudication of the case. Okay? Thank you so much.